Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sports Room. I'm your host for this episode, Unger to the Max. And this time, it's just me. I'm not having any guest on the show for this episode. However, I am trying to talk to a couple Dallas Cowboys YouTubers. So we'll see if anything develops with that, because I am not going to give up on my goal of doing a video collaboration either on the Sports Room or on the opponent's channel for every game of the Browns' schedule. I've done it for the first three. I did it with Engraven Bids for week 1 at Baltimore, Jazzy TV for week 2 against the Bengals. Week 3, I did a video with BG Fan All Day for the Washington football team. And so this week, we're playing the Dallas Cowboys. So, I'm talking to Dallas Cowboys YouTubers. So, hopefully something develops. Anyway, so it is week 4. And entering this game, the Browns have a winning record for the first time since 2014. Where we had a winning record going into the last 3 games of the season. But then the Browns proceeded to do what the Browns do and lose those final 3 games against Indianapolis, Carolina, and Baltimore. And poof, away went any hope of going to the playoffs. And for the first time since 2010, the Browns have scored back-to-back 30-plus. Let me say that again. Rewind. In back-to-back games, the Browns have scored 30-plus points for the first time since 2010. There we go. So, like I said, we're on the road to take on America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. I'm saying it right now. The Browns are going into Dallas and leaving there with a 3-1 record, meaning the Cowboys will be 1-3 because the Browns are going to win 31-27. I'm saying that right here, right now. It's locked up. I cannot change it. It's in the books. Done. Just like my prediction of Week 13 Browns at Titans. That game will be flexed into Sunday Night Football. I can't change that. That prediction is locked in stone. It's in the books. Whatever phrase you want to put there, it's done. I can't take it back. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't think I will be. But, like I said, it is week 4. And I've been seeing a lot of media members doing power rankings. So I thought to myself, so you should do power rankings. So that's what I did. And so here are my week 4 power rankings. The Under to the Max NFL power rankings entering week 4. Now, I didn't do 32-1, but I did start off with number 32. And there's only one team I could put at number 32, and that's the New York Jets. I mean, come on. They lost 36-7 against the Indianapolis Colts in Indy, and the game was just never competitive. Then again, the Jets just flat out suck. I mean, I feel like they're in a race with the New York Giants to see who's going to get their first win, who's going to avoid going 0-16 the longest. Something like that. I have a feeling the Jets might go 0-16. They might, actually. But then again, this week, they host the Denver Broncos on Thursday Night Football. Why the NFL decided to put the Broncos and Jets on Thursday Night Football, I have no idea. But it is what it is. And now, let's get to number 16. Because I just didn't want to talk about the other teams. And number 16 is the monsters of the Midway, the Chicago Bears. So in week 3, they won at the Atlanta Falcons 30-26. This was due in large part because they made the quarterback change of benching Mitchell Trubisky and putting Nick Foles in charge. And I believe Matt Nagy has already said Nick Foles is going to be the starting quarterback for the Bears going forward. And I think Nick Foles gives Chicago a better chance as a team. He can complete the throws that Mitchell Trubisky can't seem to complete. He's better at calling plays and not really changing them, because I feel like Mitchell Trubisky does that. And I just think overall it puts the Bears in a better position. But here's the problem, is that the Bears put Nick Foles in week 3. That kind of seems early to me. Like, Nick Foles hasn't really shown a good track record of being able to stay healthy for a majority of the season. Yes, he came in to help the Philadelphia Eagles win Super Bowl 52 and take down the evil empire known as the New England Patriots. But Nick Foles came in, I believe that was like week 14 or week 15. It wasn't week 3. So we'll see. But this week, the Bears are going to be hosting the Indianapolis Colts, who you might see a little bit later in the show. Wink, wink. Number 15. The New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees and Sean Payton just, for some reason, do not appear to be on the same page. I don't know what it is. Maybe losing Michael Thomas has hurt them a lot more than I expected, actually, because they lost 37-30 at home against the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football. Although that, in a way, wasn't really a home game for the Saints because they didn't have their crowd. So Aaron Rodgers was just able to use the hard count and draw the Saints offside a lot. But I think week 4, they head to the Motor City to face the Detroit Lions. So that should give them the opportunity to get things right. But then again, I thought they would be able to easily go into Las Vegas and beat the Raiders. That wasn't the case. So I don't know what to make of this team. I really don't. Hence why they're number 15. Number 14, just ahead of New Orleans, the San Francisco 49ers. They have just so many injuries. They lost Jimmy Garoppolo. They lost Nick Bosa. I believe Solomon Thomas is injured. Raheem Mostert, I'm pretty sure, is injured. George Kittle is injured. Yeah, they dismantled the New York Giants 36-9, but they're all banged up. So I can't move them up, and they host the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday Night Football. The Eagles aren't a very good team. Doug Peterson could have kicked a potential game-winning field goal. Nope, he elected for a tie. So they're not really going to get tested too much on Sunday. So, yeah. Number 13, another NFC West team, the Arizona Cardinals. Yes, they lost at home against the Detroit Lions 26-23, but I love what Arizona is doing. Kyler Murray seems to have bought into this air raid style offense from Cliff Kingsbury, which I'm still not sure how he got the job in the first place. I'm really not, but he did, and it seems to be working. And hey, Houston, how did that DeAndre Hopkins trade work out for you? because it seems to be really working out for Arizona, because Kyler Murray and DeAndre just appear to be on the same page. And now having Hopkins in there means means Larry Fitzgerald doesn't have to carry the load as much. So he's still getting his touches, but he doesn't have to do as much. And I like their running game with Kyler Murray, Kenyon Drake. It's good, but can they sustain it? I'm still iffy about it. Hence why they're number 13. Number 12. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Hoo. Now, I'm not going to be crazy and say, oh, the Browns are a top 10 team. No. I feel like they're in the right spot at number 12. Like I said in the beginning, it's their first time being over 500 since week 15 of the 2014 season, and it's their first time scoring 30-plus points in back-to-back games since 2010. Now, we laid an egg on the road against Baltimore in week 1, 38-6. Again, I don't even know if the Browns got off the plane. But then these last two games, we've put up 30-plus points, and we've been able to find an identity. Snap it to Baker Mayfield, and then Baker Mayfield just turns around and hands the ball off to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. And then you build the play action passing game off of that, and you hit those deep passes to a Jarvis Landry, to a Odell Beckham Jr., or you hit the mid-range pass to your tight ends like Bryant, I forget his first name, or Austin Hooper. But again, Washington was leading that game in the fourth quarter. So I'm a little iffy about the Browns still. I'm not jumping off. The Browns are my number one team. They always have been and always will be. But I'm still a little bit iffy. Washington's not that great of a team. Their defense is decent, although they lost Chase Young. And they played Cincinnati. Can the Browns do this against Dallas on Sunday, for example? Or will they be able to do this in week 6 at Pittsburgh? To be determined. Number 11. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They seem to have found Tom Brady and the Tampa offense seem to be on the same page now after Bruce Arians called out his quarterback, Tom Brady, in week 1. Because, he went into New Orleans and did not look good. But again, have we had a proper offseason? No. So, did we have any preseason games? No. So, Tom Brady was never really able to work with his receivers like a Chris Godwin, like a Mike Evans. So, yeah, it took a little while, but Tampa seems to have figured it out. And oh yeah, they actually got Rob Gronkowski involved in the offense this week. Good luck, LA. But here's the thing. Quickly. The Buccaneers are facing a decent defensive line this week. So, how is their offensive line going to hold up? Not so sure. Number 10. The Indianapolis Colts. The Colts and Browns, who you saw here, let's jump back to them super quick. So, the Colts and the number 12 team, my hometown Cleveland Browns, appear to almost be mirror images of each other in a way, because both teams are just like, oh, Well, if we hand the ball off to our running backs and let them do it, and don't let our quarterbacks throw more than 30 passes a game, we can actually win. So that formula seems to be working for each other. And guess what? They play each other next week in Cleveland at like 4:30. So that should be interesting. But hopefully the Browns don't overlook the Cowboys and look ahead to that game. And I hope the Colts don't overlook the undefeated Bears and look ahead to that game next week. I like what the Colts are doing. Philip Rivers seems to be on the same page as his wide receivers, T.Y. Hilton, and I believe Jack Doyle is there. And Jonathan Taylor, since taking over for Marlon Mack, it seems like he's doing well. So I like what the Colts are doing. Number 9. Yep, I completely dropped them out of the top 5. That's right, the Baltimore Ravens. You know, this game on Monday night was being hyped as the game of the year. Patrick Mahomes against Lamar Jackson, possible AFC Championship game preview. And then in the blink of an eye, Kansas City completely took Baltimore out of what they wanted to do. Baltimore is a run-first team that builds their passing game off of it. And if they fall behind, I haven't seen any evidence that they can overcome that. And Monday was just another example. Now, they have a get-right game week 4 at Washington, so they should get back on the right track. But I don't know what to make of the Ravens. Are we overhyping Lamar Jackson a little bit? What do you think? Are we overhyping Lamar Jackson? Write your comments in the comment section below. Number 8. The Los Angeles Rams. They couldn't quite complete the 28-3 comeback on the road against the Buffalo Bills as they lost 35-32. Now, this was due in part because of a controversial pass interference call, which I will reference again later when we bring up the Buffalo Bills. But overall, the Rams seem to have gotten back to what took them all the way to Super Bowl 53, where they completely laid an egg. But then again, it was because they were playing the freaking Patriots. What a surprise there. But it doesn't seem like the loss of Todd Gurley is hurting them. In a way, it almost feels like it's helped them because Cam Akers is doing well for them. Henderson's doing well for them. Malcolm Brown is doing well for them. Jared Goff seems to have gotten back to the good Jared Goff from 2018. Sean McVay is getting back to his creative play calls. So, as of right now, the Rams look good. And they should have an easy win on Sunday because they host the New York Giants, who just flat suck. And like I said with the Jets, I think it's a race between the Giants and the Jets to see who's going to get their first win. Because one of those two teams is going 0-16. Simple as that. Number 7, the New England Patriots. I know some people have them in their top 5. Some people don't. I do not. I have them just outside the top 5. They beat the Raiders 36-20 on Sunday. But the Patriots have shown they have a lot of ways to beat you. Week 1, they mostly won that game thanks to the passing game. But then again, it was the Dolphins. Week 2, they kind of stayed with that, but mixed in the running game as well. And they could be 3-0 had it not been for a last-second goal line stand by the Seattle Seahawks. Imagine that, a Patriots-Seahawks game coming down to the 1-yard line. Where have I heard that one before? Oh, right, Super Bowl 49. Should have given the ball to Marshawn Lynch. And if the Patriots can go into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs, I'm moving them up at least to the top 3. So I'm absolutely fascinated by that matchup. That might be the most intriguing game on Sunday, is Patriots at the Chiefs. Why this isn't Sunday Night Football, I don't know. Number 6, the Tennessee Titans. They know who they are. It's just they're a grinded out physical team that just beats you down with the run game. And then Ryan Tannehill will just flip it up to Corey Davis or A.J. Brown and let them go make a play. Stephen Gostkowski seems to have overcome his kicking woes that he had in week 1 at Denver. And as you can see, they narrowly defeated the Minnesota Vikings 31-30 on the road. And this week, they're scheduled to host the Pittsburgh Steelers, who you will definitely see a little bit later, in the battle of 3-0 teams. However, there's been a bit of an outbreak of COVID-19 in the Titans organization. 4 players and I believe 5 personnel have tested positive. So the game has been postponed and will either be Monday night or Tuesday night. So if the game is Monday night, what happens to the Falcons-Packers game? I don't know. So, number 5. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. So, in week 3, the Bills nearly joined the Tennessee Titans, week 5 in 2014 against the Browns, and the Atlanta Falcons, Super Bowl 51, in losing of a 28-3 lead. However, they were able to hold on to beat the Rams 35-32. And like I said, when I was discussing the Rams, this was due in large part because of a controversial pass interference call. Now, they dismantled the Jets. They squeaked by the Dolphins, and they beat the Rams because of a controversial pass interference call. So I have them at number 5, but I still have a little bit of uncertainty surrounding them. So maybe I should have put the Patriots in front of them. Maybe not. But the Bills are leading their division. They're undefeated. They look like the best team in their division. But then again, they haven't played the Patriots yet. And in week 4, they head to the desert to face the Las Vegas Raiders. Number 4. Yes, I have all 4 NFC West teams in my top 15 in my power rankings this week. Yes, in week 3, they defeated America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, in the Pacific Northwest, 38-31. Although the score would have been bigger if DK Metcalf didn't have a brain fart. And in week 4, they're going to South Beach to face the Miami Dolphins. Russell Wilson right now is the MVP. It's that simple. I don't know how he hasn't won an MVP. Maybe it's because he plays out in Seattle, so nobody gets to really watch his games. That's kind of the negative of playing on the West Coast. Ask Christian McCaffrey about that when he was in the Heisman discussion. He played at Stanford. Nobody got to really see his games. Bryce Love, same thing. He was in the Heisman Trophy discussion, but he played at Stanford. Nobody got to really see his games. But Seattle's passing defense is their biggest Achilles heel right now. So can Russell Wilson carry them to the Super Bowl? I would say yes, but that defense has me a little bit nervous. Number 3, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look, they have the best defense in the league. Simple as that. They have the number 1 defense. So I'm terrified of facing the Steelers in Pittsburgh in week 6. I'm terrified of it. They defeated the Houston Texans in a battle of the Watt brothers, 28-21 in the Steel City. And that's because Derek and TJ Watt both play for the Steelers, while JJ plays for the Houston Texans. Although, will JJ play for the Texans his whole career? No, I don't think so. I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers go, let's add the third Watt brother. And like I said with the Titans earlier, the Steelers are supposed to face the Titans in the Music City, but the game has been postponed due to COVID-19 running rampant in the Titans organization. But let's focus on the Steelers. They don't really have that superstar wide receiver. Juju Smith-Schuster is a good receiver, but I wouldn't call him elite. And they have other good receivers like Deontay Johnson, James Washington. He's my favorite player on the Steelers, actually. I like their running back combination of James Conner and Benny Snell. Ben Roethlisberger's playing decently. I'd like to see a little bit more out of him, but, he's still trying to recover off of elbow surgery, so I'll give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. But, like I said, I'd like to see a little bit more. Joe Hayden and Minkah Fitzpatrick are playing terrific for the Steelers. They can get after you. They could be a Super Bowl sleeper, possibly. Number 2, the Green Bay Packers. I consider hold on, one more thing. I forgot. Let's go back to Pittsburgh for 1 second. Dallas is not America's team. It's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is America's team, not the Cowboys. Okay, back to the Packers. Now, some fans could argue the Packers are America's team, and I would say that argument is valid, but I still say it's the Steelers. But I don't know what it is, but Aaron Rodgers seems to have taken his play to another level. Now, what I think it is that he saw that Green Bay traded up in the first round to take Jordan Love, a quarterback, to presumptively take his spot. And Aaron Rodgers is like, oh, really? You're going to draft my successor? Well, let me just go out here every week and show you. So it's almost like he's clapping back at his own organization, which I like. And, we, the fans, and I guess I can consider myself part of the media now, right? Yeah. And we, the media, have been critical of the fact that Green Bay hasn't drafted a wide receiver or a running back or anything like that in the first round. But I guess it doesn't really matter when Aaron Rodgers is throwing to Mercedes Lewis, who, God, he's been in the league forever, and he's throwing to Scanling, and I forget who the other guy is off the top of my head. Aaron Jones is playing out of his mind. I have him on my fantasy team. He put up 40 points in week 2. Unbelievable. So, Green Bay, I changed my Super Bowl pick because I originally said Baltimore would hoist the Lombardi. I think I said against Green Bay. But then I changed it to Seattle. Maybe I was wrong about that, but I can't change it. I'm sticking with it. Despite what I saw on Monday, I'm still going to say Baltimore against Seattle. Now, if I turn out to be wrong, I turn out to be wrong. And that's because of number 1. Come on. Was there any doubt of who I was going to put at number 1? It's the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, they're playing like they didn't win the Super Bowl last year. I mean, they seem to be playing with a chip on their shoulder. We came back from three double-digit deficits to win a championship. Well, guess what? We're an even better team. And they proved it on Monday. So until somebody knocks them off, they're number 1. It's that simple. So that's going to do it for this video. Until next time, this is Unger to the Max, signing off.